Okay, let's see if we got some sound now. I don't even know if this is going to work. I am curious to see if I say hello world, then it does come up. I don't know if that means that it is a live chat. I don't know how to use this thing. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. We all have to start somewhere, right? Okay. So, one of the things that I wanted to do was to what is going on in the money markets, the macro money news this week so far, in general and including crypto topics. Let's put the light on back there. I don't know if that means that you can or not. That's a good question that I ask myself. Bitcoin sitting at 68, huh? Good old Bitcoins. Let me check on something just a moment. If I were to. So if I was to go here. Ooh, it's probably not going to let me make a comment unless I sign in. Huh. That sucks. Okay, so I can't actually check that. If you are wondering what's going on, I am trying to figure out how to use the live stream and how to set it up to where people could chat if they so desired. Because I've never done it, so I don't really know. Yeah, I have it up here where I type this, but I don't know if that means that I'm the only one that can do that. I don't know. Let's try it this way. Of course, it may not really matter, honestly. Yes, it's an absolute train wreck, and I still do not really care. I do not know. That was a latency thing. What I am doing, but we're doing it anyway. That just puts a comment there. That doesn't do a live chats. I don't know. But I'm gonna give myself a heart. Is it okay if I do that? All right, I'm gonna close that because I got other things I need to look at. But we do need to figure out the chat function, don't we? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually doing anything. All right, I'm going to ignore that for a minute. We're going to figure that out. Something is not. Something doesn't seem right there. Ooh, what is that? No, I don't want that. Go away. All right, let's go back to here. What do we got? What do we got? We got Bitcoin at 68. What's driving markets this week? Risk appetite has improved midweek, led by rebound in AI tech stocks. Ahead of NVIDIA. Okay. Fed tone is still cautious, higher for longer. That's not surprising, so nothing is going on. Treasuries are being pulled into opposite direction. Tariffs policy headlines remain a macro wild card, and Reuters reports markets have reacted to tariffs. Crypto is trading like a macro risk asset again. Very tightly linked to tech and risk sentiment. Not much of a surprise, really. Yeah, that's been a recurring Reuters theme this month, and today's move fits that pattern. Bitcoin and Ethereum are bouncing sharply today. I mean, I guess it's good. They're showing some upward momentum. ETF flow momentum appears to have improved on February 24th after a weaker prior session. Okay. Market chatter news snippets are tying the crypto rebound to improved risk sentiment, if you buy that. And then it'll go down again later, probably before the end of the day, and they'll say, oh, it's melting again. Okay, so macro read through, softish, cooling inflation hopes. Good for cuts later, supportive for risk, sticky inflation, tariff uncertainty. That mix is why you're seeing stocks up, especially in tech, crypto bouncing, but rates not collapsing because the Fed still sounds patient and inflation confidence isn't there yet. The key things the markets are likely watching next, rest of the week. NVIDIA earnings, the AI CapEx narrative, inflation data, PCE expectations, and whether incoming data changes are rate cut timing expectations. Reuters commentary. Okay, so I don't know when is the PCE data coming out. Tariff policy headlines and how they feed into inflation growth, treasury supply deficit, and pricing. No, don't need that. Don't need that. All right, so mostly just more of the same. Let's look at TradingView. Do 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 do. Okay, let's look at the Dixie. It's got a little bounce there, huh? So if you don't know, the Dixie DXY, the US dollar index, tracks the strength of the dollar against a basket of major currencies. DXY was originally developed by the US Federal Reserve in 1973 to provide an external bilateral trade. All right, I'm not clicking on it because it's basically just tracking where the dollar's at and the strength of the dollar. Okay, so no real surprises there. NASDAQ, SPX, okay. We've already kind of glanced at Bitcoin, so we know what that looks like. Let's see what this silver. Ooh, woohoo! We're back up to $90 for silver, huh? Interesting. I could have swore we were on our way down to 50, and we may still get there. Maybe this is some kind of an Elliott wave. They're just the bulls are fighting it. Will it go down to 50 or will it just stay between 70 and 90? I don't know. It may wick down to 50 and then not actually stay there. I don't expect to actually catch it at 50 anytime soon. But I'm still much in the green here because I haven't bought anything lately. So everything I bought was around 30 or less, so I'm not too worried about that. We're still in the green. Silver. Okay, Gould. What is Gould doing? Yep, same kind of move. 52, $5,000 gold. Man, could not have imagined. This is CFDs. It's still going to be close, but I'm looking at the wrong chart. Gold futures, gold, CME. Let's look at this one. See, same thing, 52. Wow, even that big wick down was around 44. So It'll be interesting to see if gold stays around this level for a little while. I'm thinking it might actually. I'm thinking it might stay around here. I don't see gold coming back down anytime soon. We may not see a $2,000 gold again, in my opinion. But that's not financial advice. That is just my personal opinion. Completely a guess. I have no idea. Time will tell. Look at this stock market, man. Look at the S&P. It's just all over the place. It's just, what is even happening here? It's not even that much of a range either, because that wick down was at 598. So you're looking at it around 637 right now. Wasn't there a way to tighten this thing up? Maybe you got to do it here. Ah, aha. Happy learn how to put. Let's see. What the gold has been doing is just meteoric. Or the S&P. I got gold on my mind for a moment. Okay, so this is your S&P going back to March of 24. So right now it's kind of in a tight range, and man, I don't need to know how to draw a trend line specific and perfect to see that there's a general trend here. Stock market go up forever. Um, I don't even need to get a precise measurement on this. If you can't see there's a trend up, does that mean it can't come down? It could totally bust. I mean, but as everyone has been saying lately, that stock market crashes have been made illegal. If you believe that, then it is possible. How do I get it to stay there? Ooh, I did a thing. Let's go here. Okay, so now this is just a chaotic mess, man. It's just, what is happening? Well, volume is staying around the same, but it's just a push pull. I think somebody's got a cold somewhere, and they're just, whenever they sneeze, people don't know whether to buy or sell. They're just kind of back and forth. They have no idea why we're chopping sideways on this right now. Anything else I want to look at? Do I want to look at Bitcoin again? Do I want to look at Bitcoin again? I mean, that's a good, healthy green candle there for today. You know, all things considered. That must have been around October, hitting 126. You know, I don't necessarily buy into this Elliott wave thing too much, but because it's never that pretty, right? Well, maybe it can be, but that seems to suggest we could have been at a bottom. I still think it could go down to 40. I don't know what the news would be that would actually bring it back up. That's the thing. What would be the news? Well, if quantum would, I don't know, for Bitcoin specifically, I think some of the other cryptos may come up with quantum protective solutions and maybe see some resurgence, but Bitcoin's a little bit different. We'll just have to wait and see. It just depends on whether people take the quantum thing serious or not. Yes, we will leave that site. Hey, there's my YouTube stuff. We're still sitting at extreme fear on the crypto side. Well, we got a retest of the open close lows. Watch the snapback. It's some potential bottom. That's what I was just saying. If ETH hits 2,000, we should be set for a ride. I wouldn't sell the ETH just yet. You got to look at that. They're still building things in the background. And once this needle starts to move back to neutral, some of these things are going to move up. Um, everybody's got like a hair trigger when it comes to crypto, and it's a waiting game. The sentiment is crap because a lot of people, you ever heard the saying there's too much of a good thing, and people got addicted to the gambling aspect of using Bitcoin to filter down to Ethereum and then down to altcoins for the altcoin market, and that's how some people were getting rich. Well, that was before Bitcoin entered the next room up where you have your institutional players. And when they're putting in billions of dollars, it's going to be harder to move the needle for one. Plus, these aren't people who are trying to take a new Bitcoin high and then sell off and then jump into ETH and keep playing that same game anymore. That game has fundamentally changed now. I think that's why a lot of people are pushing Zcash because they want a new Bitcoin to be what the old Bitcoin was doing as a catalyst, and we'll see. But I think that it's a waiting game because there's certain coins, forget the meme coins. There are certain ones that they're building a lot of projects on still, so there's still a lot of use. And we have to wait until we see the positive outcomes and the positive things being developed on those chains. They'll get their light of day again, like Solana, your Sui's, and things like that. But it could take a little while. So if you're just not even doing any diligence and you're just expecting it to just jump up so you can sell it and go into the next thing down, well, I think the meme coin craze may have killed off that part. That kind of needed to happen too. A lot of people may not want to hear that. Stock market's at 45. 28-day trading challenge. Keep it private until it's done. Learn how to trade. We believe in you. In the video, we trust. Yeah, right. What is this? Go away. It's not an AI bubble if it just goes up and up and up and up and up and up, and people are getting laid off and nobody has money, right? If AI is supposed to lower the cost of production, then how is that going to play out in the stock market? That I do not know. Okay, I'm going to close that out. And I'm going to go back to here. And I'm going to pivot to the AI discussion, which there's a couple things I was wanting to find out. But I think I'm going to pause that for a moment, and I'm going to exit out of this, and I'll come back to that. So I'll be back in just